Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 11 of Serendipity. This one's titled, It Happened. After a very exhausting but fulfilling day, you headed home to the last of your cup of noodles. Man, you really needed to go shopping, but procrastination was life. You fell asleep immediately the minute your head hit the pillow that night. Next morning, you were up and ready to see Deku again. Work. You were up ready for work. Packing your bags before heading out, you closed the door and started off down the street. It was a beautiful sunny day and you smiled happily to yourself as you passed the newsstand on the corner. The headlines caught your eye. Hero Deku has found his sweetheart. You stopped mid-stride and stared at it, slightly confused and a little bit deflated. You scanned the beginning of the article. For years we've watched our beloved #1 hero, wondering who would be the lucky person to catch his eye. Well, good citizens of Japan, it seems his own personal assistant has managed to weave her spell over our curly-haired heartthrob. You gasped. What? You yelped out loud. Racing inside the news store, you bought a copy and continued to read it as you walked to work. An exclusive with Hero's Daily Reporter found Deku gushing over his assistant, saying how lucky he was to have her. How long have they been dating for is unknown at this stage, but Deku is smitten. You went bright red as you continued to read. Did he really say these things about me? Did he admit he likes me? Suddenly you were surrounded by people. Miss, congratulations on dating Deku. Oh, he's such a sweetheart. I wish you all the very best. Have you discussed wedding plans yet? How did you two meet? You tried to step back to get away, but you'd been closed in, people calling out questions from all angles. Your mouth hung open as your head flicked left and right, not knowing how to respond. A man in a black hoodie with his head down pushed his way into the centre of the crowd, standing directly in front of you. You glanced at him as he held a hand out to you. It was covered in scars. You knew who it was immediately and grabbed on, allowing him to pull you into an embrace and back out from the crowd. Hold on to me, he said lowly into your ear as he picked you up. You caught sight of his green eyes from under the shade of the hoodie as they flashed with strong emotions. I'm so sorry, you whispered as he protected you, making his way out from the crowd. Don't apologise, he said as he held you in his arms. I'm going to activate my quirk to get us out of here quick, okay? You nodded and clung to him, pressing your face into his jumper as you felt the power surge through him. In an instant you were both away from the crowd and in a quiet location. He put you down when he was certain that you were both safe and pushed his hoodie off. Are you okay, Yin? I'm so sorry about the headlines. I didn't think your being my assistant would cause such an uproar. How did you know where I was? You asked, more surprised that he had found you randomly in the streets. Well, I saw the headlines and I knew people would recognise you immediately, so I came to find you. I just started heading towards your house, he said sheepishly. Oh, well, thank you for saving me back there, you replied with a sheepish giggle. Now what, though? You waited. He just stood there, looking down at you softly. Well, I guess this was bound to happen, he said, tugging on a curly lock of hair and pulling it down over his eyes shyly. Does it bother you that people might think we're dating? He asked softly. Of course not, you almost snorted. Really? He said with surprise. Well, why are you surprised by that? You asked, ducking your head to try and maintain eye contact as his gaze fell to the ground. Well, Yin, can I talk to you about something? He asked shyly, his hands now shoved firmly into his pockets. Of course, Deku, you said, as he remained staring down at the ground. Well, I've never had a girlfriend before, and I've spent my entire life training and aiming to be #1. I don't really know what to do in a relationship. I don't even think I'm worthy of having anyone by my side. Don't be silly. That's when you need someone the most, you retorted. Someone who you love. Someone who will stand by you through thick and thin and support you. You need as much love as you give to the world, Deku. He looked into your eyes. Would you be that person for me? He asked softly, his gentle eyes pleading for you to return his feelings. Your heart stopped beating. Did he just confess? Are you saying that you want to be in a relationship with me, Deku? You asked breathlessly, with a dry mouth, your heart now beating wildly. He nodded, eyes still glued to yours. I really like you, Yin, he said meekly. You stepped towards him and saw his eyes widen with fear, with him almost stepping back. He removed his hands from his pockets and braced. I really like you too, Deku, he replied with a giant shaky smile, your nerves well and truly on edge. He had confessed. You'd returned his feelings. This was the greatest day of your life. His body relaxed slightly, but you could still see the nerves as he reached his hands out to you and pulled you in for a hug. You stood, hugging for a few minutes. His heart was beating so hard against your ear as you pressed it up against his chest. You squeezed him with your arms and wrapped them around his back. So what now? You asked. Well, maybe it would be a good idea for us to keep it quiet for just a little bit until the headlines blow over, he said. You nodded. Sounds like a good idea. You pulled back and looked up at him, and he gazed down at you and brushed your hair softly to one side so he could caress your face. Slowly he leaned down towards you while you reached up on tippy toes. Your lips met as your eyes closed and you shared your first kiss. He pulled your body tighter against his and you wrapped your arms up around his neck as he kissed you deeper. The moment couldn't have been more perfect in some random quiet street somewhere in the middle of Japan. And there ends chapter 11. Stay tuned for chapter 12.